The Colorado Avalanche have an exciting weekend, and they win in Vegas and then go to San Jose and win in overtime. No. I'm just kidding. They didn't win in overtime. What are we talking about here? Let's talk about it, though, on a new episode of Locked on Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked on Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Locked on Avalanche, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Zach Pearson. Thank you for tuning in, making it your first listen of the day. Always appreciate it. If you want to get in on the conversation, join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below. Chat with us one-on-one. Get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very podcast. All right, sir, we will be getting to something we wanted to do last week, but with the Necas extension and all that stuff going on, we didn't get to it. This whole Nordiques uniform over in FanDuel and Altitude Athletics, too, but more FanDuel side of things.
Fanatics.
What am I saying? FanDuel?
Yeah.
Not FanDuel. FanDuel has nothing to do with jerseys. Fanatics. It even says it on the screen, and I'm saying FanDuel. Maybe FanDuel would handle it a little bit better. Who knows?
I think they would.
But, yes, Fanatics. So the Fanatics issue with the Nordiques uniforms, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, we're going to jump into the two games that the Avs have had since our last episode in Vegas, which very nice win there. Always a difficult opponent, especially in that arena, and they win that one. And then the next day, which, nobody likes back-to-backs. And I think you kind of saw that as that game went on. But the Avs kind of hung in there and pushed it to overtime where they lose again. It's just amazing. Like, you have 5 overtime losses now. What is going on here? This is ridiculous. Go ahead.
Yeah, plenty of thoughts on overtime. We'll do the Vegas game first. Let's start on a happy note, and then we'll get into the overtime. That Vegas game was awesome, man. And actually, Marty Necas scoring within the first minute of both games immediately after signing that contract almost feels like, anybody saying this is an overpay? No. And just went right out there. Both those shots, too, were just great shots. They were so well done. I think the first one came from MacKinnon in Vegas, right?
The first goal?
I want to say it was Makar. Makar pass across over to Necas in the face-off circle.
Beautiful pass.
And he just, rips that one home. Wide open net. Marty Necas is playing absurdly well right now. And I'm so pumped for it. I can't wait to see what he does. Again, as we've talked about repeatedly, just keep gelling with the team. Keep building that chemistry. He's going to be really, really good if he keeps playing the way that he has been playing.
Of course. Yeah. No, I think he's remember the episode we did when I was saying, I just want this season to get started.
Yeah.
So people can all of the talking points of, nothing's going to work, or not, I don't say nothing's going to work. People that maybe just had reservations on if things were going to work. And I can understand that. And, at least for him, I was relatively confident this was going to work out very well for him. And you see, you have the season that he's having, and, you kind of joke, before the extension was signed about, every goal he scores, it goes up a little bit more. And I don't really think it plays too much into it. I think the Avalanche know what they have with him. He knows his skill set. He knows it works well. So it all just fits together. But he's not going to make anybody regret this. You know what I mean? And there's always going to be those Mikko people, and those two will forever be attached and forever be linked.
Yep.
But I think the way that he can play, even if it doesn't match, point for point what Mikko could potentially do in Dallas, it'll be good enough for where people are like, okay, it wasn't like a death kill that just sunk the Avalanche because they got rid of Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge factor in all of this. And he's playing that way. So, yeah.
I'm absolutely just overly impressed with how well he's looked, how well he's played. And especially, again, you get that contract, and then your very first shift, 2 games in a row, you bury a goal within the first minute.
But now if he doesn't do that in a third game, it's a failure. And shouldn't have signed the extension. And what's wrong with you? You can't do that in 3 games in a row. It's terrible.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, though, he also needs to do it 11 seconds faster in this next game. So it's got to be only, what was it? It was 41 seconds and 30. So the next game has to be 19 seconds in. Otherwise, what are we even doing here?
Exactly.
Heck, make it 8 seconds in. And so we have 8 seconds from 88. Let's go.
We did have, because it was the back-to-back, we were wondering how the goalie situation would have gone. I think they did the smart thing in putting Wedgwood in against Vegas. I think if these 2 games were flip-flopped, maybe you put Blackwood in first. But I think going up against the better team, even though Wedgwood technically is your backup, I think it would have been a tall order to throw Mackenzie. But hey, here's your first game of the season coming off of an injury. Go up against Vegas.
Yeah,
I think it was the smart decision to do the way that they had it. And I think Wedgwood played another excellent game. The one goal he gave up that technically went off of Brent Burns.
Yeah.
What for that? Other than that, he continues to play very well. Blackwood in the San Jose game for a first game, technically the first game of the season. I thought he was fine. I thought he got hung up to dry a lot by his defense, but overall, I have no problem. So I think we're okay in the goalie department.
Lots of turnovers in that San Jose game, especially. Very, very tired team. And you could tell it, especially in the third period and overtime. They just wanted to go. They wanted to go to bed as bad as I seem to most evenings. They're done. They want to go to sleep.
It's like they just got out of a hospital bed or something.
Right, exactly. Macklin Celebrini is so good. And his goal was phenomenal. And the play that he had before that too, where he did the little spin around, the Sharks are not a great team, but they have really good pieces. And so I agree. I'm not panicked about Blackwood's performance by any stretch of the imagination. I thought he played really well, especially behind a tired team that, as you said, kept leaving him out to dry. So goaltending wise, we are still, I think, in a very good, comfortable spot. I really am happy with where the Avs are at.
With the San Jose game, it's weird because you could tell in spots they were just dragging. Yeah. And then something would happen and it infuse life into them for a little. Just inject some adrenaline into them. And off they'd go, and they'd have good sections of the game. It wasn't this full 60 where they were overly dominant. The Sharks did good pressuring them, forcing turnovers. It was a disaster passing wise for the Avalanche in this game. I don't know if that was just the lack of sleep or whatever it was, but it looked rough from times in the San Jose game. Despite that, you outplayed them. You did for the majority of the game. Yep.
Completely. That deserve to win-o-meter was absolutely our friend in that game. We love the deserve to win-o-meter in San Jose. On the passes, though, Nathan MacKinnon, buddy, you are so good at hockey. What are you doing with these passes? They're going...
The one in overtime was bad. That was bad, especially when it's 3-on-3. That's got to be on the tape to Necas.
He's got a couple of those in regulation too, and it's just they're really weird. But again, I'm going to chalk that up to being tired. He's had a couple of those throughout the season. He keeps having those. The overtime, we'll get to that in the next segment.
Yeah, because I definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah, overtime it's a piece, but the turnovers are really bad. But also through both those games, what are you doing taking that many penalties? In Vegas, it almost, and they killed all but one against the best power play unit in the NHL right now. So to me, that almost felt like they were we're just gonna poke that bear and prove that you're not the best power play unit, but that's literally playing with fire. Stop taking that many penalties. That was driving me bananas.
They do seem to be a little bit undisciplined early on in the season. A lot of penalties, but that leads to they're one of the best penalty killing teams in the league right now. I think they're top 5.
Phenomenal.
So I don't want to keep having this many penalties and proving that, as I don't want that damn debate break. But there's just a lot of penalties going around, and then on the flip side, power play has gone back to, not that they've had a ton of power plays in those two games, but it's kind of gone back to offers.
Yeah.
But there was a couple plays in that Sharks game. One was where you were on a penalty kill, and I forgot the goalie's name. He toe picked or
trips over himself.
Yeah, he just trips over himself, and Parker Kelly comes up with the puck. I know, like, when you're shorthanded, you want to do things fast because you're the man down, and you always feel like there's always, there's an extra guy out there that is, they have more, they're covering more ground than you are. So he probably didn't realize how much time if he held on to that puck, just made like a deke move, because their goalie sprawled out just to dive and just try to make some, glory save. If he just pulled that puck back, it avoided his goalie stick, he would have had a wide open net. But he just, he got the puck. I don't think he was expecting that to happen. Puck is on his stick, and he just immediately tries to fire it, and he was too close to the goalie, who stops it. Just little things like that. You had time. I get that he maybe realized he didn't, because he thought someone was going to be back checking, and that one, I was just like, oh, hold on to literally a millisecond, and you would have had just an open net. So
I'm pulling up the goaltender's name. I credit to him though, because he trips over himself. And I don't know if he just saw maybe Kelly coming towards him and kind of panicked a little bit, or what he did.
Askarov, great goalie.
Yeah,
he's a good young goalie.
Huge credit to him for also recovering and getting his stick back in the way. I agree. Parker Kelly, a brief second breath there, and you have
pull it back.
A shorthanded goal would have been perfect. But a lot of credit to Askarov, because that really was in the situation he put himself in. He recovered as good as he possibly could have. So, again, like I said, not the Avs' greatest game, but they probably deserve to win. Credit to the Sharks, because they hung in there.
I mean, they were in a position to win it. They got that fluke goal where the Sharks player just dislodged the goal. That is a goal. That is a goal. And the funny thing is, like, I didn't see a lot of fighting against that, especially on like the Shark side. Maybe I'm sure there was like some Sharks fans thinking that, that was not a goal, but by the technicalities of the rule, that is 100% a goal.
My buddy texted me as soon as that was like waved off, but then they said, okay, the call on the ice is a goal. We're going to go ahead and review it. And they did that whole thing. I get a text right as they go into the review process. And he says, the call on the ice was overturned going into this review because that referee was terrified of Nathan MacKinnon. And if you saw his face, like when they zoomed on his faces, oh my gosh. And that dude was red hot. Scary.
Yeah.
Yep. So
you don't see it that much, but by the letter of the law and the letter of the rule, that's a goal. If he takes it off, if that, the opponent takes the goal off its moorings, and there is an open goal to be had, and it still crosses the goal line, you can make the assumption that if the net had not become dislodged, the Avs would have put that puck in the net. And because of that assumption, it's still a goal. So I thought they got that right. Good to see that.
They did entirely. I also really wish Taylor McCarr would have been able to poke that one home. He was this close, and his stick snapped on the side of the goalpost, and that would have just been so cool to see him get a goal in his first game.
I was really hoping that he would have gotten a goal on his first shift, because then he would have been the two. There's some sorcery going on when it comes to McCarr's and first shifts. So, but we have to talk about the overtime, because it seems to continue to be a thorn in the side of the Avalanche. Is it that big of a deal, though? I'm sure some people think it is. Let's talk about it. We'll do all of that after this. Let's hear from FanDuel. The NBA is back. There's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And even if you missed the start of the game or want to ride a hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your bets into a same game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. It keeps every game exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. And right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head over to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Also, we are brought to you by Monarch. And let's be honest, most of us can't even name all of our financial accounts, let alone what they're worth. Between 401ks, savings, and investments, it's easy to lose track. And that can mean leaving money on the table. That's why you should start using Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. And don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNHL at monarch.com for 50% off of your first year. That is monarch.com. The code is LOCKEDONNHL for half off your entire first year. Go check them out today. All right, so another overtime loss for the Avalanche in San Jose. That is their 5th overtime loss of the year. All of last year, they had 4. So, through the first month of the season, they've already surpassed last year's loss total in overtime and shootouts. To me, it's frustrating. We've said this before. It is not like a panic for me. It's just a frustrating thing because the talent that you have, a lot more open ice. You should be. It's tough to say you should win every single one of them. I'm not saying that. But if you told me the Avalanche were going to have 5 overtime games in the first month of the season, I probably would have told you, oh, they'll win 3 or 4 of those. At least 3 of them. I can't imagine they'd have a losing record when it comes to overtimes. But here we are. A lot of people are up in arms about why Jared Bednar continues to go with the combination of MacKinnon and Necas. Give me your take on this because I have thoughts.
I really don't know on the MacKinnon and Necas thing. My biggest thoughts on the overtime are there's no reason for the Avalanche, who are as dominant as they are at 5-on-5, to not be able to do the same thing 3-on-3. On that same note, I really am with you on I'm not going to panic, because if you're dominant in 5-on-5, come playoffs, that's what overtime is. There is none of this 3-on-3 shenanigans. Right. So I can't be overly concerned about it, because you've shown that you can win 5-on-5 basically all the time. They are one of, if not the best 5-on-5 teams in the entire league.
They are. I keep talking, but if you're watching on YouTube, I'm throwing up some graphics here, and they are. Their 5-on-5 is better than anybody.
If you're looking on YouTube, this is a nice little 4-quadrant graph. Bottom left quadrant is the opposite end of where you want to be. Top right quadrant is the good teams at 5-on-5, and the Avalanche are by themselves, living up there in a bubble. Nobody even close. 5v5 expected goals for versus against. Again, bottom left quadrant is really bad. Top right quadrant, really good. Avs are up there by themselves.
Nobody's around them. That's it.
Yeah. Nobody. It's literally just the Avalanche, which makes me so not concerned about the overtime. This one I really, really like, because the Avs are what? They're 2.5% higher expected goals percentage than the Panthers, who are second best. And they're sitting up there.
They're number 1.
They're just doing really well in everything 5v5.
Yep.
So I don't know how you fix the 3-on-3. As long as you're getting points, as long as you're staying high up in the standings and you're going to make the playoffs, I don't know that you concern yourself a ton with not doing well in the 3v3, because it's not going to matter when the games matter most. On the MacKinnon-Necas front, maybe you split them up just to see what happens and build some chemistry, but those 2 guys play really well together. And you're trying to build that chemistry again, potentially for the postseason. So maybe that's why Bednar wants to keep them together. I don't know what the solution is to win these overtimes, but I'm with you. I'm not concerned. It's really hard for me to be concerned about what we do in a situation that if we end up taking 2 penalties a team repeatedly through the playoffs and have 3v3 all the time, then I'll look back at these overtimes and say, man, what were we doing? But
yeah. Everything you said is exactly right. Or exactly how I feel. You're where you are in the standings, you're top in your division. You're, you're on a path to somewhere in the 100 and teens for points in a season. It's just the frustration of being greedy and wanting that extra point. I'm with you there. I'm with everybody else that's there. But what is the knock, or what is everybody waiting to see from this Avalanche team? What they do in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Don't got to worry about 3-on-3 on the playoffs.
Nope.
And when your numbers are when you're getting points and the trajectory is what it is for your points in the season, and those numbers that we just threw up for 5-on-5, where you are the best in the league, 5-on-5 is what goes on in the playoffs.
Yep.
So but that doesn't mean you can't get frustrated at this. I understand it. If it does come down to being number one in the division and you lose that by like a point, you can look back and say like, hey, those 5 overtime losses in the first month of the season, could they come back to bite you? Sure. All of that. I get all that stuff. But if you cut your teeth in the playoffs and 5-on-5 continues to do what it is for this regular season, I'm okay with it. I'm not. I know everybody is this whole they got to break up MacKinnon and Necas. Like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead. Like it's not going to take anything away from, like, fine, if you want to break them up and put either Nichushkin in there or whatever, like I would have no problem to do that. But I'm kind of getting a kick out of like how we just absolutely love how MacKinnon and Necas play together at 5-on-5, and then just seem like they fall apart at 3-on-3. They have been. I don't feel like that means that will last forever. Yeah. I mean, but I'm also of the mind of like, let them correct it. Like I don't go to this extreme of like dismantle everything, because 5 times though is a little bit crazy. I'll grant you that. But those are still your 2 best playmakers. I have no problem keeping them on 3-on-3 together. I don't like. Are you trying to tell me that if you didn't change it at all, if you left MacKinnon and Necas at 3-on-3 for the entire season, you're not going to win a single overtime game? No, but it's just, but it's the, the immediacy of it. It's how these are all like bunched together, and you have all these losses. People want to change. I don't do whatever you want to. I don't care. Just because I have faith in whoever you're going to put together, that they'll go get the job done in overtime. And you saw Nichushkin had that power move that he loves to do. Yeah. And in overtime, and he's great at it. And he could have ended the game there. He didn't do that. But I don't know, man. Like, yes, I want to get the extra point. How are you doing everywhere else? Just fine. And if you can, keep the focus on that, and make sure that continues throughout the duration of the season, because that's what you want to carry over into the postseason. Yep. 3-on-3 doesn't carry over in the postseason. So that's where I'm at.
And I'm not really, I don't hugely enjoy the 3v3 overtime anyway. I think it adds maybe a little bit of excitement with how open the ice is. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I'm not opposed, but I'm not really for it, because I don't think it prepares you much for anything postseason wise. I don't think it really does a lot to add to what the game is. And I think my biggest complaint is, because possession's so important in 3v3 overtime, I'm really tired of watching guys skate it all the way back to their own zone after entering the offensive zone.
That was a change that some people are like, once you get into the zone, you can't bring it out on your own.
Yeah. Or at least not past the red line, maybe. Like,
maybe
keep it in the attacking half.
Right.
I don't know what the solution is, but man, it really does get dull watching them. Like, okay, in the zone, and we don't like it all the way back down to our end. Okay, in the zone, and then okay, all the way back down to our end. Just go attack, man. That's the point of 3v3, was to make it more fun, faster, get it over with. I know you need the standings points. I know you got to play the game to win. I understand all of that. I don't like watching it. I don't find it as
Really?
fun. No, I just don't. Like,
I enjoy it.
I feel like when
I do
3v3
like it.
first started, when it
Yeah.
first became the rule, I felt like it was back and forth, and it was scoring chance and then down the ice and then scoring chance, and now it's that just dull work around and
Perfect
then go up.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that to me, just I don't enjoy watching it anymore.
It's fun. Like I'm fine with it. I like it. And it's like the shootout. Like whoever wins the shootout, I don't necessarily think you're the better team.
Yeah,
Same thing in overtime. Like there's loose pucks and pucks get knocked in a certain direction, and you don't have those extra guys that can correct those mistakes when a puck goes sideways.
yeah,
I like that stuff. I like that. Oh, mistakes can bury you, and that the unknown of that in 3-on-3 because of all the open ice, I enjoy it. But you're
yeah.
right. It has been kind of like dumbed down a little bit just because teams just do not want to give up possession, which I understand. But
And I do, yeah, but
yeah,
it just that's why it drives me nuts. Because again,
yeah,
if it was like aggressive and attacking and that fun back and forth, because there is nothing more exciting to me than overtime in the playoffs when I'm
yeah,
watching a team that's not the Avalanche, because it's like, oh my gosh, you're edge of your seat the whole time. Like, y- okay, you're not bringing it all the way back down to your own zone. You're trying to establish possession in the
right.
offensive zone. You're trying to attack. You're trying to get that goal. Next goal wins. This is supposed to be super exciting when you're watching three guys circle around to find that perfect shot on the super open. I just, yeah, like I said, just kind of
I get it.
over what 3-on-3
I get
overtime
it.
is. So
All right, fire away in the comments section, and we're gonna get our last break in, and then we're gonna discuss this Fanatics debacle. Pretty crazy stuff going on. So let's get a break in. We'll talk about that. Wrap this bad boy up. Let's hear from Game Time. Hockey season is officially here, and nothing beats being in the arena for those opening games. But let's be real. Getting tickets can be a total headache between waiting in queues, surprise fees, and prices that jump right before checkout. It's easy to get frustrated when all you want to do is cheer on your team. So that's where Game Time comes into play. It's the app that gives fans the advantage. It's your ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NHL tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. That code again is LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go with Game Time. Also brought to you by Doer, brand new ad we have here. Doer clothing. They are sending. Did you receive anything from them yet, or no?
I haven't got it yet. I'm actually kind of really excited to get it. The way they describe the jeans just sound perfect for my job. When I'm allowed to wear jeans and I have to climb up and work on projectors and do all of the things that I have to do for IT in a school district.
Yeah.
These seem like they're going to be really good for that.
So you get to wear jeans at work.
If I wear my district colors. So yes, I wear a district purple Mapleton shirt. Done.
So these seem to be like perfect for you because it's like the look of jeans and comfort as well. Like they let us pick like jeans and a shirt, like a top, and I struggled to pick because I couldn't decide. Like there were so many to pick from. So I went with just a classic jean, and I'm a child of the '90s grunge era, so I went a flannel top. So
there you go.
I am very excited to get these. I'm hopefully getting them within the next couple days or so because I cannot wait to wear these things. So Doer jeans have 5 times the stretch of traditional denim. They're antibacterial, meaning your jeans can stay fresh longer so you can wear them more and wash them less. That is me. And they're made with a Cool Max that regulates your body temperature and wicks moisture. So it keeps you cool and comfortable as the temperature changes. How about that? Simply put, Doer makes the world's most comfortable pants without having to sacrifice style. And you can check out Doer's in-store right here in Denver. We're at 2621 Laramie Street. So pick up your pair for yourself or as an amazing holiday gift. Yes, everything is revolved around the holidays now. These would be the perfect holiday gift. So Mention the promo code Locked On Denver in store to get 15% off of your first order, or check them out online at shopdoer.com/LockedOnDenver. That's shopduer.com/LockedOnDenver for 15% off. Very excited to get these, hopefully very soon. So we'll talk about them again later in the week. All right, last bit of business we're going to do, and that is more clothing, but this is of the sweater variety, not what Doer offers, but the jersey. There you go, those bad boys right there. We have the same exact one. I was able to get mine. Logan O'Connor, same as you, but there are people who are. They're getting shut out from this, Zach. And I want to give credit to Evan Rawl for kind of efforting on behalf of the people here, too, because he was hearing that a lot of people are saying like their orders were getting canceled from Fanatics. I have, if you're watching over on YouTube, there's one person's screenshot email. And it says, this email confirms that your order has been canceled per your request. And then they issued their refund there. And everyone's like, I didn't issue any request to cancel. Why would I cancel this? Who's gonna, like, you purposely, you've been waiting for this. They didn't turn around and cancel it. And then where is this other one here? There's the one that they sent back to Evan, saying, we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience here. Due to a vendor system error, a small number of these jerseys orders were canceled, and the initial email that went to the impacted fans caused confusion on what happened. Yeah, because you blamed them. It says, we have since contacted any fan that had their order canceled to explain the situation and encourage anyone with questions to please send us a DM. And people were like, well, that doesn't really answer any of my questions. Like, where's my order? So
I also noticed it doesn't say we're correcting this and getting the orders reissued. It's just saying we explained what went wrong, and that's good enough. Your order's still canceled.
But what's the vendor issue? It's shocking to me that they weren't prepared for this. Like when you're releasing this like uniform, a classic uniform, really any uniform. Fine. If you don't have the stock, I get things sell out. I understand that part of it. But there's like another part of this, the Altitude Authentics part of it, which is the Avalanche personal website selling this stuff. They sold out within minutes too. Did you notice on the San Jose game, when they came back from a commercial, they had a graphic up with a QR code that said, scan the QR code and you can be put on like the waiting list for when they are released.
Yeah.
Which they said they're hoping is early 2026.
Yeah.
That to me is the part where it's like, oh, like, okay, I get you sell out, but to replenish the stock takes you 3 months.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. That's a bad look, I think, to me. I don't get that part.
I guess maybe this feels to me like the what in the beginning of A Muppet's Christmas Carol, Rizzo is eating all the apples and he says, what? Scarcity drives the prices up. I don't know if that was their goal or what exactly the plan was here, but this feels it still feels mismanaged. Like the jersey release was mismanaged up to the announcement, and now post it being available, there still seems to be some problems. I don't get what they've done. This is such a weird situation. Like, huge shout out to my friend who picked this one up for me at the Altitude Authentic store in Ball Arena. So in person, she picked it up for me at a game. Thank you so much for picking that up, because otherwise I might have been one of these canceled ones. This is such a strange situation. Leave it to Fanatics for that to be what happens, though. I'm not at all surprised.
I've seen a couple people, and you always get this too, the people who post Fanatic debacles. There were a couple that I saw that like the stitching was bad. There was like a stitch like right across the igloo. It's the same color as the igloo, but you can just see it. If you're spending that much money,
Oh yeah.
It better be flawless, and only the imperfections come from you when you wear it.
On the Fanatics debacle, I'm pretty sure it was Fanatics NFL jersey, but I saw somebody get a Bo Nix jersey and his name was spelled XIN on the back. Yep.
So like the thing, like I read, does Fanatics take a lot of heat? They do. And I think it was like their CEO or something said like he's very aware of these like accounts and on Twitter and everything like that just post all of the terrible designs and everything. He's like, I totally get that. He's like, but he's like he's not trying to explain it. He's like, that makes up for like 1% of their business. He goes, that's still like 150,000 items. That's too many. So he understands it, and he didn't try to just explain it away. But those 150,000 items are going up online, and they are making you look bad. And all of the other millions that go out are not going up online. It's only the bad ones that people see. And when you get like these Nordiques uniforms that everyone's been waiting for, and even though you have a few of them that are messed up, people are going to see that, and now you're sold out, and now those people can't even turn those in for a new one because you have no stock.
Yeah,
you're right, man. This entire thing has just been like, we're lucky that we both have one, because we'd be waiting until, I mean, my birthday's in February, so I probably would have been waiting until my birthday to get another one of these things. So
yeah,
wild.
It's such a poorly handled rollout. And like, I mean, I don't know where the blame on that one sits. Is it on Altitude Authentics? Is it on Fanatics specifically? Is it just a whole combination of everything? Whatever it is, like I really do though. I feel for those fans who got that email and are like, look, I've been pumped for this. I'm so excited for this. You told me I canceled it. Now I have to get on a wait list. Like, I don't know. I wish I could tell them something to make them feel better. I can't. I feel so bad for those folks because that's just such a crappy situation to be put into.
Don't know how long everyone's been waiting for this.
Yep.
And I'm not in that world of running a company like that. So I'm sure I'm sitting here making it seem like it's very easy. I completely understand that it is not. But maybe it's just we've been soured by how this entire thing went from the beginning. This just adds to it, like you said.
It does.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
It's just on top. It's problem on top of problem on top of problem, and it looks bad unfortunately for the Avalanche. It looks bad for Altitude. It looks bad for Fanatics. It doesn't look good for anybody, except the people who were lucky enough to score one. Which again, I'm not trying to like say anything to. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm just saying, like, I'm really glad I got mine. I really feel for all the folks who are out of luck.
Of course, I had to order mine online. Wanted to get the Landeskog one, and I was on there right away, and that sold out. So I'm like, oh great. So and my backup was Logan O'Connor. I don't own a Logan O'Connor jersey. So I'm like, if I can't get Landeskog, I'll get O'Connor. And lucky enough, I backed out. O'Connor was still there. A couple other, like the Brent Burns had already sold out, so I was lucky enough to nab an O'Connor one. But that to me, that's like I fully expected these to sell out. I did. That's not my issue. Is like, why is the replenishment taking so long? And I'm genuinely asking that. Someone, I just feel like this should have been kind of like prepared for better. That you're not going to have replenishment for months.
You had to know, especially with how much hype you as an organization built around these jerseys repeatedly. You had to know. It's, again, scarcity.
Well,
drives the prices up.
By the time they are back in stock, maybe we'll have another number that we can order.
There we go.
And that's how we're going to end this thing.
That's the plan. That's their new plan.
And what are we talking about? Well, before we get to that, thank you for tuning in and making this your first listen of the day. Always appreciated. He is Mr. Zach Pearson. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast. And maybe you're closer to number 87 on a Quebec Nordiques uniform.